Wear testers.
What's going on, guys? This is Zach from WearTesters.com, and today we have the performance review on the Air Jordan 30. Like usual, we're going to go ahead and start off with the traction. In my opinion, the traction was one of, not the most, but one of the most disappointing things on the shoe. The traction solely depended on what type of condition the floor was in. So if the floor was super clean, then these things were amazing, but if the floor had any dust whatsoever, then these things had me slipping everywhere. It seems like the Air Jordan line has been going backwards from the 28 as far as traction is concerned. The 28s being amazing, 29s were still very good, but not quite at the 28s level, and then these things are just mediocre at best. As far as the cushion is concerned, we basically have the same exact setup as we did on the Air Jordan 29. There was one minor difference, and that is that they removed the TPU or plastic that used to surround the heel on the Air Jordan 29. In the Air Jordan 30, the plastic is only found wrapping around the midsole in the forefoot. Personally, there wasn't really any difference in the performance of the cushion. Removing the TPU in the heel did make the transition somewhat smoother, but it wasn't anything too noticeable to where it changed the shoe completely. The forefoot felt the exact same. The unlock zoom still feels unbelievable. Once again, unlock zoom is a great cushion setup, definitely one of my favorite of all time. Nightwing did state that he had some instability issues with this part on the heel due to the foam being a little bit too soft. I think that's just going to depend on what type of player you are. If you're like me and you're literally constantly on your toes, then I didn't have that issue at all. But if you do strike in your heel, plant on your heel, then you may have some issues. Once again, I think it just depends on what type of player you are. As far as the materials are concerned, we once again have a performance woven upper with a few minor tweaks to it. Overall, the performance woven is slightly thinner than what was found on the Air Jordan 29, and personally, I didn't like that very much at all. Although this thinner material does seem more durable, I like the more premium feel that the 29's performance woven gave. That's just me nitpicking though. It really still is an awesome upper as far as the performance woven part of it. As far as the toe box though, you can see they added this bead part. I would rather have the performance woven go throughout the entire shoe. This is basically just here for some more structural support so the material won't tear due to toe drags. Another one of the more noticeable differences is the addition of Flyknit in the heel collar area. This is the part of the shoe that I absolutely hated the most. Just about everybody that I talked to said that this part gave them blisters during the first couple of weeks of playing time. For me, it lasted about 3 weeks until this part broke in and finally felt a little bit more comfortable. It was just so annoying to have to play in blisters, and during this process I was bringing multiple shoes to the gym just so I could switch out of these to ease the pain a little bit. Like, there's no exaggeration to this stuff literally was hurting my Achilles. I also did have one other problem with the material, and you can see that the material is tearing away from the midsole. That just shows that they didn't do a good enough job of gluing the shoe. I'm done playing in these anyways, so that's not really too much of an issue, but that shouldn't happen to a shoe if you're looking to play with these year round. It's just unacceptable by Jordan Brand. As far as the fit is concerned, I feel like that is one part of the shoe where they definitely upgraded. In the forefoot, it fits a lot more like the Air Jordan 29 low rather than the high, and those things just fit much more snug in the forefoot. If you do have wide feet though, I would suggest trying these on because I can't say exactly how you would fit since I don't have wide feet myself. In the heel, once again, I was locked down at all times, but that problem with causing blisters was just so bad. As far as the support is concerned, these things had no issues whatsoever other than the almost tearing of my Achilles. Personally, I think it is a little bit better than what was found in the Jordan 29. Even though the material is thinner, the fit in the forefoot and midfoot is much more contained, thus leading to more support. Everything about the support is fine, just once again, that back part is killer. I also can't forget to mention, you do have the same flight speed system, so you're gonna have that shank underfoot for some additional torsional support. Overall, these things were a big disappointment for me. They're not terrible, but after the success that the Jordan 28 and the Jordan 29 had, I would have just expected Jordan Brand to come with much more than what they had on this shoe right here. My two biggest issues were definitely the traction, and of course, the whole issue with the inside liner and the Achilles. It was just so painful. The traction just didn't get the job done like it did on the 28 and 29, and the discomfort that the whole Achilles thing caused was just unbearable at some points. The cushion is still solid, as are most of the materials, so you can't really complain there. But that's just gonna about wrap it up for this video. This has been Zach from WearTesters.com with the performance review on the Air Jordan 30. If you liked the video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you aren't already. I have tons of new content coming soon, so stay tuned for the channel and don't forget to subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snups at ZKAllDay1. I will have all of the links down in the description below. Make sure you follow me for all things kicks. Not too much else to talk about though. I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a good one. Peace.